Okay, today we're going to be looking at a antique toy car. We had a user, Aladdin Playboy, send in a request, and he says, "I would like to appraise this," and he sent in two photos. So let's take a look at these two photos. This appears to be a Ford Cobra um, toy car from the 1960s to me. I think it looks like a slot car personally. Um, and he sent in two views of the car, different views, and it looks like it's in pretty good condition and it's mint in the box. Okay, so let's get started. So let's go to Antiques Navigator. Let's start with Antiques Navigator and go to the price guide search. Let's just try Cobra and toy. Let's see what we get with that search. So the website's loading. Okay, so we got a rare. Oh, that's almost exactly the same car. Rare 1965 Aurora Cobra GT toy slot car, $190. Well, that's a pretty good result there. Vintage antique toy slot car. Three different cars sold for 132. Um, 1960s Aurora Cobra GT Thunderjet slot car, $42. Okay, so we don't get exactly you know this unique engineer. I never heard of that. So let's go on the web. Let's go to Google and type unique engineering and Cobra and see what we get. Um, okay, here's a pretty unique URL. Let's see what's on this page. Unique Engineering was a corporation registered in the state of California. Blah blah blah. Okay, so it looks like we have a rough idea of when the company was started. It was started in January 29th, 1964, and it doesn't look like it's no longer in business. So, but I think that helps us a little bit. I think that narrows this slot car down to the 1960s. So, let's go back to Antiques Navigator and let's just try to get a rough idea how much slot cars from the 1960s are worth. So let's go back to, so let's do slot car 1960. See what we get. And I think this one result that we got, this a 1965 Aurora Cobra Jet model slot car, I think that's a fairly good example. Um, we didn't get a lot, when we searched for unique engineering. Um, we didn't get a lot of results. So I don't think that's a real popular brand, or that company wasn't in business very long. So okay, so let's look at the. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So I did a search for 19 slot car 1960. Um, let's see what we got. 1960s rare Batman mobile. So that's obviously both slot car collectors and Batman collectors. That probably a little bit of premium on that. Rare 124th Marks. That's a good brand. And, toys from the 1950s and 60s. That's a popular brand. Um, Here, vintage 1960s BMC slot car, 182. I'm just kind of looking over the prices here. Looks like on the high end, they top out around $300-400, and obviously, a slot car from the 1960s can go for as little probably as $5-10. Here's a vintage 1960s Manta Ray slot car, $50. Um, Here's that Cobra 1960s, $42. Okay, so I think this gives us a pretty good idea what this is worth. So let's reply back to Latin Playboy, and let's just say, I believe your 1960s Ford Cobra slot car made by Unique Engineering is worth around $50 to $300. Here's an example. Here is a example of a similar slot car that sold in that price range. And then, let's just tell them that we found that one link to, the company history is all we could find out about that company. So, Unique Engineering appears to be from the 1960s and is currently out of business. Here is the only information I could find out about that company. Okay, so well, what do you guys think? What do you think this 1960s slot car is worth? I'm not a slot car expert, and I would really appreciate your opinion on it. So, and maybe Latin Playboy would like to sell it. So, I think someone might want to get in contact with them. Okay, so we have another user here. He replied to Latin Playboy. He didn't probably mean to, but he has another toy car here. I think this is a bank. So back when I was a kid, my dad had a lot of these banks, these toy car banks that he got actually from banks. They were like handouts from banks. And I think that's what this is, what this user sent in, this Clint Younger. So let's go to Antiques Navigator and see if we can find an example of that. And I'm not 100% sure, but it sure looks like the real similar to the toy bank cars that I saw when I was a kid. And they were, just freebies that the banks would hand out. I need to call my dad and ask him about that. He probably can give me more information. But it's back in the 70s, late 70s. We got just too many results here. Let's see, we got 12 pages. Let's try to add another word in here. So we did bank car. Let's try toy car. So I'm just changing the URL directly, but you could go back to that form too. Okay, so this narrowed it down a little bit. Okay, this is real similar. This is what I'm thinking of exactly. So this came from the Bank of Agriculture. So this was a handout from a bank, and it sold for $40. See if I can find any others. Here's another one. This one's musical, so this is a little different. Let's go back to the list. He doesn't really say much about it. He says, "Just can you tell me anything?" So so far we got two results: $25 and 40. Here's another one, $18. Up from the 1970s. See, these are the cars I remember my dad having. Here's another one, vintage toy car bank, $10. Okay, so I think that's enough, to give Clinton Younger an answer. So let's reply back to him. Hi, Clint. I think you have a toy bank car which were given out by banks in the 1970s. My dad had a few of these when I was growing up, and here are some similar ones that sold in the past. And so let's see. They range in price from 25, 40, $10. So I believe your toy bank car is worth around 10 to uh, $10 to $40. And then let's just give them a couple links. Okay, that's how I do antique appraisals. I did two in this video. So one was a slot car from the 1960s, and the other was a toy bank car from the 1970s, I think. Um, well, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.